Chapter 9. The Gathering Storm. And I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Ezekiel 38:4. The bitter wind howled through the Kremlin's war room, though not a window was open. The chill came not from Moscow's early frost, but from the presence of something darker. Marshal Dmitry Vasiliev leaned over the holographic map projected onto the oak conference table. The blinking lights over Syria, Iran, and the Golan Heights pulsed like an evil heartbeat. A single phrase scrolled across the bottom of the display in Cyrillic: Operation Grom. Thunder. To his left, President Anatoly Varnikov gave a thin smile. "It is time," he whispered, more to himself than anyone else. The bear rises. Half a world away, in the mountains of western China, General Wei Han stood atop the fortified command tower of the new Pan-Asian Strategic Compound. His breath fogged in the cold as he observed the movement of men and machines across the valley floor. Thousands of vehicles were en route, convoys of armor, missile batteries, and personnel carriers. Overhead, hypersonic drones painted the skies in formation like flocks of metallic vultures. Inside the control room, a single word had been authorized by the Central Military Commission: Shengji, ascend. Wei Han recited the ancient Han proverb under his breath. The sleeping dragon has teeth sharper than the tiger. Behind him, Buddhist advisors and AI generals merged ancient prophecy with digital warfare. China's Communist Party had long mocked the West's religious fervor. But now, even atheistic technocrats whispered of the scrolls of Revelation. The Euphrates River, once full and roaring, now ran nearly dry. Satellite footage confirmed that upstream dams in Turkey, Syria, and Iraq had collapsed in a cascade of sabotage and disaster. A dry path had opened across its ancient route, the alliance of Gog and the kings. Iran, long emboldened, had finalized its union with the Russian-Chinese pact. From Tehran to Tripoli, war councils ignited like wildfires. Libya sent black-flagged battalions of jihadist-trained militias. Ethiopia, under the grip of a new military junta, mobilized anti-Israel shock troops under the guise of African solidarity. It was a scene taken straight from Ezekiel's scrolls. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the North Quarters. Ezekiel 38:5-6. In the underground citadel of Mount Hermon, Israeli intelligence had decrypted intercepted communications between Russian and Iranian military officers. The plan was codenamed Operation Scourge. Their objective was clear: a simultaneous invasion through the Golan, the Sinai, and via aerial assault through Lebanon. Over 200 million men had mobilized across the east. Revelation's number, once dismissed as hyperbole, now stared Israeli analysts in the face like a digital countdown. The prophets of old had warned them. In Jerusalem, Rabbi Eliakim ben David stood before a crowd of trembling believers beneath the western wall. His voice, like Jeremiah's of old, thundered into the tense silence. "Behold, the armies from the north and the east gather against the Holy Land, but the Lord himself will go forth to fight." Some wept, some fled, others prepared to resist. American support had evaporated. The globalist leadership in Washington, absorbed in gender policy conferences and climate treaties, had left Israel isolated. UN envoys called for de-escalation even as missiles lit the skies. The Pope issued a cryptic statement from a bulletproof balcony in Rome, calling for interfaith peace and global citizenship. But the storm was here. Armageddon initiated. In Megiddo, where the final battle would one day rage, tanks now idled, drones hovered, and saboteurs infiltrated nearby kibbutzim under cover of night. Russian warships off the Mediterranean coast coordinated with Chinese cyber warfare units to blind Israel's Iron Dome system. And yet, Israel stood. Then came a sign. A flash of light streaked across the sky, brighter than 1,000 suns. From the Mount of Olives, a deafening crack split the ground. Soldiers paused mid-step. Even hardened Chinese generals felt their bones shake. And then the earth opened. He that sits on the white horse. And I saw heaven opened, and behold a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. Revelation 19:11. The figure descended, not through spacecraft or sound waves, but through glory. Radiance burned away the darkness. The Antichrist, seated in a golden throne in the rebuilt temple, howled in rage as the very Shekinah he mocked returned in splendor. The armies of Gog froze. The kings of the east bowed in terror. A sword went forth from his mouth, not metal, but word, judgment, and truth. Entire battalions collapsed like dust in the wind. The man they mocked, the name they banned, the gospel they outlawed. Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, had returned. And the world was silenced. The scrolls of Ezekiel had not lied. The visions of John on Patmos had not been myth. The blood ran deep in the valley of Jehoshaphat, but the Lion of Judah stood victorious, not with tanks or nukes or code, but by righteousness, by wrath, and by the word of God.